Hey YouTube, welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel, Bambino. Welcome to, it's been ages since I filmed one of these. Welcome to this week's Top 3 Thursday, Bambino. This is being filmed on the Monday, so quick update on my health. I'm definitely on the mend. I didn't go to work today again, I'm still sick. I haven't got any energy, just about got the energy to bash out a YouTube video or two. So, yeah, this is going to be my top 3 games that I played in 2022, Bambino. Not necessarily games that came out in 2022. I've got a good mix in front of me. As always, I've got honourable mentions. I've got 10 plus games in front of me. I've got a couple of games that don't really count. Most of the games are PlayStation 4 games. There's the odd PS5 game, but I've also got a 3DS game here, a PlayStation 2 game, and an Xbox 360 game. So I have had a good bit of variety. They're not all one genre as well. There's a nice mix of games here. Let me just double check my top 3 are in the right order. Yeah, I'm locking them in, Bambino. And I got digital games as well. So we'll do my digital games first then. I played 2 standout games digital this year. I was going to say Melty Blood Type Lumina because of the DLC characters, but that doesn't really count, does it? So I don't think it'd be fair, because that was my number 1 game of the year last year. It probably would be in my top 3 because I love the new characters. Mario's cool as fuck. Like the new stages, but yeah, so that's not in here. So the 2 standout digital games that I played this year was River City Girls. I'm not sure, I think it came out the year before, or maybe it was a 2022 game. I sat on the fence with it. I normally, with digital games, wait for it to go in sale, unless it's a game I'm desperate to play. Normally it's like a fighting game, and if it's digital, like Melty Blood Type Lumina, for example, I bought that the day it came out because I knew it wasn't coming. A physical copy, unless you're prepared to pay, they're normally around about £150 plus for a physical of that game. Excuse me. Oh, my chest is still tight. I don't know, when I cough, get the violins out. When I cough, it's all fucking sore inside. Oh, it really hurts. But I'll continue on. I'm a little soldier. Yeah, so River City Girls is brilliant. My favourite thing about it, though, I haven't actually finished it, but my favourite thing has to be the soundtrack. It's really arcadey, really fits the level design and everything like that. It all brings it all together, if that makes any sense. So if you're in an hour whether to play River City Girls, and I think the second one's just come out. I had no idea. I saw an advert for it anyway. It's either due out or it's out already. So I'm not going to get that until it goes in sale. But I want to finish the first one before I go any further. But it's a brilliant game. And the other game was on Game Pass. I've just cancelled that recently. So I don't play online much because I think it was only like 2 hours in the whole year last year. Online was fucking 2 hours. So I can't justify it. So the game is Detroit Become Human. I've heard years ago when it came out, people are saying, like, people I hardly knew in work were saying, I'll lend it to you. It's so good. You need to experience this game and everything like that. So I knew it definitely had a following. So my expectations are pretty high for it. But I know it's a heavy rain. It's one of those kind of games. I don't normally like story-driven games. There's not much action in there at all. But fuck, what an amazing story. I won't talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil it for anyone else, but it won me over. I'm not big on my story-driven games, but my guy, I was on the Android or the Droid, whatever they're fucking called. I was on their side, I thought, yeah, it's not fair the way they're treated and stuff like that. And I won my partner over, my police partner. He became to like me, and at first he's a bit of a dick, isn't he? But you learn his story and you realise why he's the way he is, and he's an alcoholic and stuff like that. So yeah, he cleaned himself up, and yeah, it's a really, really good game. So that was my digital games. Definitely recommend both of them. And well, one of them's on Game Pass, so one of them didn't cost me anything. Excuse me. Another two then, which I'm going to talk about, but they don't really count. So rediscovered my love of Street Fighter 5. Sorry about the coughing. I'm struggling. I'm fighting to hold them back, you know. But now it's the game I should have had all along. Yeah, so it's not fair to chuck this in because it's an older game and it's a game I've played to death before anyway. But yeah, honourable mention, Street Fighter 5. A similar thing, Ghost of Tsushima. This is a Ghost of Recon game in here. Ghost of Tsushima, this is the director's cut. This was my number 2 game of the year last year. So last year, my top 3 was Melty Blood, Ghost of Tsushima, and I believe it was Injustice 2 was my number 3. So really high caliber games last year. Last year was the PS4 version that I played, but they've really gone to town. The controls are the standout. Visually, it looks as good as it's ever going to look, you know, on the PlayStation 5. It's a stunning looking game. Stories obviously is up there, but the controls is what stood out for me. Like the feedback when you pull in the bow and the trigger, you got to hold it and it gets tighter as it would in real life. I really appreciated. They've really gone to town with the controls on this. And I still, to this day, my favourite thing about the PlayStation 5, I know it's a lot quicker. Visually, it's a step up. It's not mind-blowing, because games still look amazing on the PS4, in my opinion. That's a good example. That looks beautiful on the PS4. But the control pad is my favourite control pad of all time, you know, so... yeah, that is kind of an honourable mention then, just in case you're wondering why aren't those 2 games in there. Okay, I'll talk about other games that aren't on the list then. Is Elden Ring, didn't make the cut. I look back, I did put 75 hours, I didn't finish it. I bought it, basically all the boys in work, where I was working at the time, were playing it. And I said, "Oh, you love this." They said there's a samurai guy in it, so obviously I had to go with the samurai guy. I bought it, and I basically bought it so I could go online with my workmates, and it was such a faff. It was, I think we were 45 minutes. This might be down to I didn't know what I was doing, but neither did my mate, or they had an idea what you had to do, but it was so complicated just to go online, and they wanted to come to my world to help me out and stuff, and it was just full of errors and dropping in and out if you haven't got really good internet. One of the boys' internet wasn't the best, and yeah, it was 45 minutes and we hadn't actually done anything. I thought, this is shit. This is meant to be the game of the year. Yes, it's very good combat, the gameplay, the world. I'm not saying it's a shit game, but it's not in my top. It's nowhere near my top 3 games that I played this year. And yeah, you can say I'm saying these 3 games, in my opinion, which is right, so everyone else is wrong. In my opinion, which I'm perfectly entitled to, Elden Ring is nowhere near my top 3. Okay, I didn't got. I traded it in. I wasn't bothered. I just stopped playing it. What else? I haven't played God of War. The new one, I wasn't a fan. He's better. God of War 1, 2 and 3 are masterpieces, and I don't like what they've done with it, so unpopular opinion. Horizon Forbidden West, I'm going to play that this year. I'm still waiting for it to come down in price. So they're the big 3, I think, that make a lot of people. They're the popular 3. Oh yeah, everyone else seems to be saying Elden Ring, so I'll say Elden Ring. I don't give a fuck. This is my channel, and I'm not going to lie to you. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so they're the ones, in case you're wondering where are they didn't make the cut, you know. So, on to my honourable mentions then. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 honourable mentions to talk about. Fire Emblem, let's say that again. Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS. I got into this, I think it was April of last year. The reason I got into this was I really enjoyed Project X Zone on the 3DS. I want to get the second one, but those games are going for silly money now. And then I was like, it's like a grid-based RPG and turn-based RPG. And I played similar-ish games to it, but not actually on a grid. And it's really good fun, really addicting. I'm really happy you got the option to turn off permadeath. So there is a version of this game, or a mode you can play, and I think it's carried into the newer games as well on the Nintendo Switch, where if any of your team die in battle, they're gone forever. Where the mode I'm playing, they die, you get to the end, you complete the level, hopefully, then they come back, basically. So because they're all really unique characters, they've all got their personalities and stuff like that. I thoroughly enjoyed this game, and if I ever do, I don't know if I am going to get a Switch, because I'm thinking about it. I haven't got enough time to play my PS5 games and my PS4 backlog, let alone a Nintendo Switch. So unless I literally come into a lump sum, family member gives me a load of money or something like that, like I'm talking thousands of pounds, I'm probably never going to get one. The more I think about it, being real to myself, I'm good with the amount of consoles I've got at the moment, you know. But anyway, yeah, so that's an honourable mention. Definitely recommend that. This is one of the cheaper games. I think I had this brand new on Amazon. Pretty confident I did. At the time, it was going cheaper on Amazon than it was selling in CEX and on eBay. So definitely don't skip on Amazon. When they have good deals, they're really, really good deals. This is a blind buy, but it's definitely an honourable mention. Spectral versus Generation. Now, it's amazing. It's really, really amazing. I've spoken briefly about it on my channel. I did this, did my live reactions on my series Around the World of 80 Fighting Games. I think this is one of the final ones I did. I was buying a game on CEX, and then, you know, like on Amazon, it comes up recommended. The customers also bought this or viewed this. This came up, and I just on the look of it, I didn't buy it instantly. It was only £5. And I went on YouTube, watched a couple of videos, and I didn't even wait for the review. They were basically saying, it's Darkstalkers vibes, very similar to controls to the Darkstalkers and the Capcom, other like Street Fighter games and stuff like that. So trust me, this game is brilliant. I paid £5 for it about 4 months ago, maybe. So I strongly recommend. That's my oldest game that made the honourable mentions. I'm still finding new games out there, you know. Visually, it's fucking stunning, especially for a PS2 game, you know. Really, really good fighting game, that is. Another one I was late to the party on this was Halo Wars. Definitely another honourable mention. This isn't selling for much. I remember it coming out in the magazine, because I was big into my Halo. I love Halo, right? I love the whole universe, the franchise and everything like that. And I thought, oh wow, it was a new Halo. And then it was like they had, maybe the cover was something like that on the magazine. So I bought the magazine. And I remember it was Xbox 360. Some of the magazines are demos. So they were actually sealed. The magazine had like a plastic covering on it. So I was all excited on the bus then, ripped that shit off. And I realised, what's this? It's like a Command and Conquer kind of game. Fuck that. And that was as far as I looked into it, I didn't read it. It did review really well. But I was like, nah, it's not for me kind of thing. And moved on to the next game. But then I saw this in CEX, obviously last year, £2, £3, something like that. And I was so pleasantly surprised. The controls feel right. It took me 10 minutes playing, I suppose, the first couple of missions. Or the first mission is like a tutorial mode. I knew exactly what I was doing. It wasn't complicated at all. And it's really satisfying. I can play that game all day and twice on a Sunday, you know. So yeah, that's definitely an honourable mention. Again, these games, guys, aren't expensive games. And they're making my honourable mentions on my game of the year, you know. Okay, that's my older one. So everything else now. They're all PlayStation 4 games, and there's one PS5 game. So I'll do my PS5 game first. This is the newest game. I've recently only just finished this. Is Stray. It obviously didn't make my top 3. If it was, I could argue, because I think I finished it after New Year. No, I didn't. No, I finished this on New Year's. I think I finished this. But this has made a lot of people's definitely a lot of people's top 10. Maybe it would have made my top 10 if this wasn't top 3 Thursday. If it was top 10 Thursday, it probably would. 9 or 10, something like that. But yeah, I recommend it. I was on the fence. I didn't think... I stayed away from a lot of the reviews because I knew it was a good, positive game and very different. But I didn't want any spoilers of the universe. I knew it was kind of a cyberpunk-esque world, and that's all I knew. But my thing is, I've had a cat before. I looked after a cat for a week when I was living in Spain. It's just like someone found a cat in a bin, a kitten, tiny little kitten he was. And he had a home to go to, but it was in 7 days, so they needed somewhere to stay. So I had the cat for 7 days. I got really attached to him. Fucking Leo, his name was. He was a right little shit. But yeah, I'm more of a dog person, you know. So I thought, I don't know if playing as a cat is it going to be boring or anything like that. I thought, why can't you play as a dog? After about 30 seconds of playing it, I thought, all right, yeah, you can't play as a dog because it's a platformer, basically, isn't it? Dogs can't climb and stuff like cats can do, you know. But yeah, what a brilliant game. Pleasantly surprised. The reason I wanted it in physical, it's about £5 cheaper digital at the moment. But because for that reason, I didn't know if it was for me. If it's digital, you got you're stuck with the game. That's happened a couple of times this year, actually, where I bought the game and thought, oh, fuck, I don't know if this game's for me. But if you go if you go physical, I've got the option to trade it in. But update, I'm not going to trade it in. I might play that every year, once a year. It might become like a Christmas game or something. Took me, I want to say closer to 6 hours to complete it, I think. But there's a trophy completed under 2 hours, but I think average is 4.5, 5 hours to complete this game. I'm a slow gamer, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Another game then that's a very change of pace game. I remember going into 2022 thinking, right, similar to this year as well, I want to experience different games. I love my fighting games, but I know there's other genres out there, like cozy game. You can argue, is that a cozy game? Maybe not. But that was a genre I've only just learnt existed. I think it's on the PlayStation Store. It's like cozy games, and it's got a list. I was like, oh well, yeah, I like the sound of that. So I was on the lookout for something new, and the cover of this caught my eye a lot. Sakura Wars. It's got like the mech thing, looks really, really cool. That's the main woman in it is Sakura, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. This was on my, PlayStation do the year review. This was my 5th longest played game of the year. I'm not surprised at all, and the combat in it is really good fun. It's not groundbreaking. I don't know what it's hard to explain what. I don't know what genre it is. There's a little bit weird where basically you're this commander and you're sent to this new failing squad, and basically the squad is based in, I think it's Tokyo, but your squad, they live like the barracks doubles as like a theatre. So they get the money, they put on shows, and that's how they fund any repairs on the mechs and stuff like that. That's where they get the money from, the funding. And they're not very good. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying their hardest with these shows, but they're getting terrible reviews. So they haven't got enough money, really, to put into repairing or upgrading their mechs. But they're just trying their best. And then as the chapters go, like you recruit like a world famous Hollywood A-list star or whatever, and she it's just one's part of the story. She teaches everyone how to act properly, and then the shows become better. And then obviously you got more money. And then people coming from all over the world to come watch your shows, and then you upgrade your mechs that way. Maybe that doesn't sound to me that wouldn't sound that good. But there's loads of twists in the story. It's got dating sim elements to it. It's the only game I've ever played with that, which is quite funny. Couple of pervy moment. You got the options to be a pervert in it, I suppose. But it's all done in fun, you know. So I really did enjoy this game. I'm not in a hurry to play another one. If there's a sequel, I will play it, but I'm not going to rush to play it. But it was very satisfying. I remember it was a very relaxing game. It's not boring. It's the pace of the game is done right. But like, it's a very good game. Say you've got King of Fighters 15 on the go, and that's all action. Then you just want to chill out before bed. You've got like 45 minutes or an hour. Put this on. It's kind of like watching an anime, or you're playing in an anime kind of thing. That's the way I looked at it. It surprised me how much I enjoyed that, you know. A couple of years ago, someone explained to me what this game is. I go, what the fuck's this? But yeah, give it a chance, guys. Let me know if anyone else has played it or not. Totally different game. This surprised me how good it was. This nearly made my top 3. It's Devil May Cry 5. This is outstanding. What can I say about it? Visually, it's the best. It's the latest Devil May Cry. I fell off the Devil May Cry games. Funny enough, I booted up the HD collection. I was playing Devil May Cry last night. The PS2 ones. And yeah, visually, the music's awesome. The controls are tight as fuck. It's not the hardest game, so if you're after I wouldn't say it's relaxing. It's more like I'm leaning forward rather than just like slouched on my games chair, you know. But yeah, I give that game out of 10 a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't say 10, but it's nearly a 10, a 9.5 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's not much of a challenge. But so if you're after a challenge, obviously you can put the difficulty up. Well, I believe you can. I played it on default settings. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Normally on these games you can change the difficulty, you know. But yeah, fucking amazing game that is. And again, this game didn't come out last year. I think it's been out a couple of years. I can't see a date on there. But yeah, that game had me hooked. And it doesn't overstay its welcome. I can't remember how long it is. 10-hour campaign, maybe 8 to 10 hours, which is perfect for me, you know. Okay, 2 games now. Cheap games, but kept me entertained for hours. Similar games, okay. They're both Ubisoft. The Division 2. I paid £2 for this. And amazing game. The only problem I got, no disrespect, people who live in Washington. I believe it's all set in Washington. It seems like a boring place. I'm not interested I like America. It's beautiful looking. I've never been to United States of America. It's such a beautiful looking country. I don't know why I was thinking of the word, couldn't say that. Why would you put it in Washington? Maybe it's just the capital or whatever, but the world is boring. It wasn't nothing. Graphics are nice. But like the next game, the world is fucking stunning, you know. But the gameplay and everything was really, really good. I got to the point where a sign of a good RPG game, right, is you don't want it to finish. You've done the main story and then you keep going. I was like that, and I paid £2 for it. So I don't know how many hours, I must have put in 50 odd plus hours into this game, and it cost me £2. So do the maths. That's how much an hour it cost me. Only negative thing, same as the First Division, you've got to be online to play it, even if you're playing single player. I'm really not a fan of that, but yeah, it's online connection required, says right on the cover. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. But even better than that is Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This just missed out on this is in my top 5, definitely be in my top 5 games of the year. I started playing this, I think it was just after Christmas or early January, and this kept me going all the way through January, all the way through February. I haven't done the DLC. I'm watching the DLC, and this is back installed on my PlayStation 5 now. And but then the problems I had with I didn't like. I wasn't a fan. More power to you. If you like the world, great. But this is paradise. This is what I would call a paradise island, but it's got the beautiful beaches, the modern houses, beautiful, stunning modern houses, like little towns and stuff. Then you go up in the mountains, and then you got the snow and everything like that. Yeah, it ticks. Oh, that is paradise. There, I can fly the. I'm terrible at flying things on it. If it's a first-person shooter and they introduce flying missions, I'm like, oh fuck, stay away. But they're not technically flying missions, but you can jump on a motorbike and ride to your location. That could be like 15, 20 kilometers away through the jungle, or just jump in a helicopter and fly bird's eye view. We'll go that, just go straight there kind of thing. Yeah, this game is outstanding, but I have noticed nobody's in the hub area. It's like a main hub area. I remember I'd leveled up so much first playthrough. I just walk in there and people, do you want to do a raid? All these strange randoms coming up, do you want to do a raid? Do you want to do a raid? And it was just so many people in there. It was like a cave, basically. And then, so I was expecting the same thing. I thought, right, okay, I'm back down to like level 1 now. At least people are going to leave me alone. There's no one there. Oh, there's one guy just standing by the bar. I was like, oh, I think he's logged in, but he's not actually playing it. Because all my playthrough, every time I went back, he was there, but he hadn't moved. But yeah, I love stuff like that. But yeah, this game, I'd say it's 10 out of 10. If you're in the mood for a military style shooter, it does give me Far Cry vibes. More of a military shooter version of Far Cry. You know, it's everything I loved with Far Cry, this has got in there. Much, much better than the Far Cry games, this is. Yeah, that's 9.5, maybe a 10 out of 10 that is. But if you like your shooters, check this fucking game out. Again, I paid less than £10 on Amazon. I just saw it. It was a random deal or something. You know those deals, 24-hour flash sales. It was one of them. And yeah, so I thought, right, okay, I'll buy it. And then I could trade it in for more in CX. I do that a lot. I always check what does CX give me trade in, because I really enjoyed the one before it. Wildlands, is it? But the thing I hated with that was the fucking there was aeroplanes in there as well, and there was some missions you had to steal an aeroplane or whatever. I just couldn't do it, so it put me off. And doesn't give you the option like in GTA 5. Gives you the option, if you fail a mission so many times, gives you the option to skip it. That's what I do on GTA 5, see? But there's no aeroplanes in this, so they must have listened. People must have gone, why can't you skip the aeroplanes, or why couldn't it be aeroplane or helicopter? Because helicopters in games, excuse me, are much easier to control, aren't they? So yeah, definitely recommend that game. Okay, that is all my honourable mentions. Now, looking at this, two of the games, one of them's a collection. Two of the games I'm going to talk about came out in 2022, and I think one of them came out 2021 or maybe 2020, but I played it last year. I think I played this early last year as well. The Last of Us Part 2. A lot of people hate it, say it's a terrible... The story, basically, if I sum this up, comparing it to the first one, story's better on the first one, but the gameplay, the game mechanics, the game graphics, everything other than the story is much better on this. Love my opinion or hate it, that's the facts of it, okay? It's a much bigger game. I'm not going to do spoilers. This game at the moment as well is under £10 in the January sale. I noticed, sorry, the Black Friday sale. This is something like £6 or £8, brand new in game. So maybe a lot of people, if you haven't played it, definitely worth checking this fucker out. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. If I'm being critical, it should have ended, or the story could have ended like where they're in that farmhouse again. Maybe this is a spoiler, where Ellie and her partner and the baby, they're in the farm. You think, oh, it's a happy ending, and then Ellie goes back. She can't sleep or something, so she runs away. She could have lived happily ever after, so she chooses revenge. And that felt like a DLC. Maybe they could have ended it there, maybe, and then, but it's just like it introduces new characters kind of right at the end. It's like, oh, these guys, you're not really invested in them as the bad guys, so it's not quite as satisfying when you kick in fuck out of them. But that bit, my favourite part is when Ellie sings. Believe it or not, it's my favourite song of all time, is Take On Me. And when Ellie picks up the guitar and she starts singing Take On Me, I was like, oh my god, she's singing my favourite song. A lot of people had a problem with that part of it, it's like, oh, she's supposed to be chasing after someone, but you got to rest. Do you know what I mean? It is realistic. People say, oh, it's so unrealistic, you wouldn't be picking a guitar up playing. Well, yeah, you would. Do you know what I mean? She's still alive. She's with her partner, the love of her life, and she sings that song. And that is the two songs I listen to when I'm doing the housework. Is Killer Instinct, the main theme. That's 6 minutes, and I've got the Wherever the Woman Sings It. She's got a beautiful voice. Take On Me. The Last of Us version, So yeah, that is my number 3 game of the year last year. Now, there won't be any things with these now because these two games did come out last year. I was so excited. I remember when we got to 2022, I thought, oh my god, these games are coming out this year. As excited as I am with Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8, they are coming out this year. It's not next year anymore. It's such a nice thing. So we got 6 months today. Street Fighter 6 is coming out. Right, so my number 2 game of the year 2022 is Capcom Fighting Collection. Yes, it does count because my rules. Sorry. Maybe you can say, collection shouldn't be in a game of the year. My favourite, or the most surprising game, how fun it was Cyberbots. And I play mostly the Darkstalkers. That was the one I was most excited about, to get the complete Darkstalkers arcade perfect games on my PlayStation. Wow. But then I played Cyberbots. I remember I played one of the Vampire Hunter games. Then I thought, let's have a look at the Cyberbots. I do remember seeing screenshots of it in the Retro Gamer magazines that I used to read. And fucking hell, they're amazing. They're addictive, This is a really good collection for to play on my series Friday Night Fights. So if I'm well enough Friday, which will be tomorrow when this video goes out, I'm going to play that. And another surprise hit in there is Gem Fighter. Excellent, fun game. I think it's aimed at kids, but it's so cutesy. It's definitely aimed at kids, but I fucking love it. Do you know what I mean? And the big kid in me loves it, So yeah, if you haven't played that, this is the America. I had to have it imported from America because it's through Amazon, but I don't know if they even released it over here. I don't know if the the PEGI rating we got over here. I don't know if those versions even exist, But there's no worry. I nearly bought this digital. I did do a video where I had a rant because, if I wanted to trade that in to CEX, they wouldn't touch it because it's teen. They don't touch anything that's an SS PEGI for some reason. But, oh my god, I'm never ever going to trade that in. So it's not a problem I'll ever have to worry about, So that's my number 2 game of the year. So I know my mates, sorry, I know my mates, will know what game I'm going to talk about. I had this game, I pre-ordered this game as soon as I knew game were taking pre-orders. I got that t-shirt there, came with it as a pre-order bonus, and that's the King of Fighters 15. What an amazing game. And it still holds up. I paid $79.99 for the Amiga edition. I've definitely had my money's worth. I'm still playing it. I haven't played it for probably the longest I've gone, actually. 2 months is the longer. I went 2 months when I was doing Around the World of 80 Fighting Games. but it's been about 2 weeks since I've played this game, and this is the thing this does better. The mechanic this has got that Street Fighter hasn't got is the teams. And I'm just still exploring the roster. I've got, like, King's my favourite character. She's always been my number one character in any King of Fighters game. Nakaruru now, because I've played for the Samurai Showdown DLC. She's my second favourite character. And it's probably going to be Andy Bogard, Whip, Leona, Vanessa, those characters. But then you can have your A team and then you can have your B team as well. So there's, like, a lot of people stick to, like, Team Southtown, Team Fatal Fury, Team Special Agent or whatever. A lot of people stick to their teams, but I like to mix it up, you know, and just basically Team Tony, the ones I enjoy playing the most. This game is almost perfection. It's my favourite game of the year. This game beat all the other games. It's better than fucking Elden Ring. You know, more power to you. If they're your games, go, you know, more power to you. But I've got no interest in it. I might get back into Elden Ring in 5 or 6 years' time with my nostalgia hat on, you know. But this game I'm still going to be playing every other week probably for the next 5 or 6 years. That's why fighting games, as far as I'm concerned, are so good value for money. And they're still adding the DLCs. I think the Orochi team is on sale at the moment. But I don't know if I can justify that yet. It's not quite cheap enough yet. You know, I'm too tight to them. I'm skint. Well, I am in my job. I don't get paid when I'm sick. So me not going to work is a big deal. But I'm going to be really ill if I go in. But anyway, that's my little rant. Yeah, so I haven't got money to be buying DLCs and shit like that at the moment. Not for a couple of weeks anyway. Anyway, yeah, so that is my number one game of 20... Sorry. I'm still not well. 2022. What did you think of mine? Shout to me in the comments. Tell me, oh my god, you didn't like Elden Ring. I did like Elden Ring. It's just not as good as any of these games. In my humble opinion, Bambino. Which means it's right, Bambino. Let me know in the comments. What's your top 3 games of the year? Let's create a dialogue. What did you think of my top 3? Thank you very much for watching. Please Hadouken thy subscribe button. I will love you forever and ever and ever. As always, love you. Bye.